Hi, it's Dave from Vinyl Nirvana. Today we're going to be showing you how to do setup in your home of a Custom Thorens TD-160 with a Riga RB300 tone arm. So this is what you're going to go through once you receive a turntable from me in your own home. You should have everything carefully unpacked at this point, and you're going to need to have in front of you the belt. This is called the counterweight, this donut-shaped thing. You should have ordered a Shure stylus force gauge, as I encourage you to do. This is called the outer platter. You should have that handy, and the more you can keep your fingers off the outer edge of that, the longer it'll keep that shiny, polished edge. And then you're going to need your felt mat also. If you happen to have ordered a Bren record weight, you're going to have that also. But again, all of the adjustments have been done in my home. This is just this in my shop. This is just the setup in your home for the final part of the table. So you're going to first thing remove this drive platter. Again, touching the side edges can cause tarnish, so it's best to grab it by the center spindle. And you're going to remove this piece of cardboard, which keeps the bearing from slamming too hard into the bearing well during travel, and there'll be some various pieces of foam or cardboard which I use to keep the suspended subchassis still during shipment. Go ahead and drop that bearing back into the bearing well, and there is oil in there, so it sometimes takes a while for that to seep down. Just be aware of that. First thing we're going to do is put the belt on. You want to make sure your hands are oil-free at this point. And I'm going to flip this around so you can see a little better. I am working alone on the camera today, so there's times where I'm going to have to stop to adjust, and now is one of them. Okay, hopefully you can see that a little bit better. So the belt goes around this smaller platter, and then comes around and rests on the pulley and goes through this small arm here that adjusts the speed. So that goes up and down. The belt should go through that, and as it spins it will adjust itself onto the right end of the pulley as it goes along. The next thing is going to be applying the counterweight. Again, let me focus the camera a little bit over in that direction. The counterweight goes at the end of the Riga tone arm. Take that out, and we're just going to start with it in a center position. It's just pressure fit, so I do generally spin it to put it on, but you don't have to. You can just push straight also. So we're putting that on in about the center of that. While I'm back here, I'll just explain your connections to your receiver or preamp. So this is the RCA cables. Red is right, remember R, red right. The blue is left, and this is your ground. On your preamp or receiver, there is hopefully a ground connector, and this is alligator clip is going to be connected to that. This is your original stock Thorens AC cable, and I think you probably know what to do with that. Okay, we're going to flip this back around, and I'm going to check my camera angle again for this last part. Okay, I think that's pretty good on the angle. We're ready to apply our outer platter. Again, I'm grabbing it through these holes, so I'm not touching it on the side. And you can see that the subchassis is floating here, up and down. We're going to put on our felt mat. And at this point, we're going to use our Shure tracking force gauge. In this case, the Ortofon 2M bronze, the suggested tracking weight, there's an optimum and there's a range, is 1.75 grams. So, or at least that's what I've been testing it out as, what I feel is optimum sound. And there's two lines on this Shure tracking force gauge. The outer line is for one time the amount that's on here, and the second line that in is for double. So to get 1.7 grams, we're going to be around 0.8 grams, and we're going to go to the double line. The Ortofon comes with a really nice stylus guard. So I'm just going to remove that by pressing downward on it and removing it very carefully so I don't damage the stylus. Again, all the geometry has already been done on the cartridge for you here in my shop. So all you need to do is adjust the counterweight and then the anti-skate. So that's what we're working on right now. I do have a bread tie on here, sometimes a couple of bread ties to secure the arm during shipment. We're going to remove that now at this point. And basically adjusting the counterweight, the tracking force, is just a matter of trial and error. So I'm going to release on the Riga arm the tone arm lock, which allows me to move it over. And basically I'm going to turn this platter so that the second line, I'm dropping the needle right onto that second line, and I'm trying to get it to balance on the far end of the line. So this is like a little seesaw, and right now I'm way too heavy, so I need to move it lighter. So I'm going to move the counterweight away from me to make it lighter. So I'm moving it significantly towards the back of the arm. Again, this is just trial and error to try to get it balanced. I'm moving it back to the 2x line, and we're still too heavy. That end goes up very, very readily. When you're doing this, you should have the anti-skate at 0, and sorry I made that mistake, I didn't do that. So it's a little green button under here. I'll show that in more detail in a second. That should be at 0. So I'm moving the counterweight back some more, coming over the 2x line and trying to, oh, we're very, very close. Need just a tiny bit more weight. So I'm moving it now towards me, going to try to make this scale balance at 0.8. Pretty close, just a tad heavy that time, moving it just a fraction, probably less than a 1/16 of an inch, and going for the balance. And I've got a perfect balance, as I can see in the little mirror at the end of the tracking gauge. So right now this is set at 1.8 grams, which in my shop I found the bronze to be operating at maximum on this particular table at this particular time. So we're almost there. The last thing we're going to do is set the tracking force. Your stylus is exposed at this point, so be very, very careful. But I'm going to adjust the camera so maybe you can see the area where I'm doing this a little bit better. Okay, I can't get a close-up on it, but in this area behind the armrest there is a green button. It's different colors on different Riga models, and there are numbers to the right of a slider, and basically you're going to move that slider out to just about match the tracking force. So there is a 2 on here, and I am moving it out to just before the 2, and that is setting the tracking force. And you're ready to go now. When you do get ready to play a record, please remember that this original Thorens cueing control is now a vestige, so that no longer operates. Your cueing control is actually this arm here on the side of the Riga arm. So I'm pushing it in the up position, I'm unlocking the arm here, and I'm setting it over, and as you can see it raises it above the record, and then moving this down will move it down. And 33 and 45 is way over here to the extreme left. I'm not sure if you can still see that, but 33, 45 starts it. And that's about it. You're ready to play a record. Enjoy when you do get to do that, and I hope that you found the video helpful. Thanks.